All right, so be warned, I am going to be talking about some pretty serious mental health difficulties, but I avoid any specifics around especially sensitive subjects, just so you know. So this is not a success story. This is a cautionary tale. A while back, I was struggling. I found myself panicking, knowing I was spiraling out of control, and I didn't know what to do. I was quickly heading to a point where I might not be able to do my job anymore, and I was terrified. So I did one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. I told my boss everything. I told him I was scared, that I didn't know if I could continue to do my job. I told him everything I was trying to deal with, and I told him I didn't know what to do. I fully realized that it didn't matter how good I was at my job. By telling my boss, that could mean losing my job, my income, my insurance, but I could see no other option. So I took the chance. And it worked. My boss helped me. We transferred me to a different team that was a bit less stressful for me. We devised strategies to help me manage accountability. And we came up with ways to vary my work so that I could work with my brain rather than force it to do something it couldn't. And it helped for a while. But it was too late for those changes to be enough. A few months later, it got to be too much, and I found myself unable to take care of myself at home, let alone work. I ended up taking 3 months medical leave to try to get my life in order. After that ended, I tried coming back to work, but after a few weeks, it became clear that I wasn't ready. I was put on new medication, and I took further leave to attend a psychiatric intensive outpatient program. With this, I seemed to show progress, and I started back part-time, working up to full-time again. Except when I was supposed to have my last day of treatment and return to work full-time, instead, my friend ended up having to call 911 to prevent me from killing myself. And I ended up in a psychiatric facility. That was my lowest point. I got to learn firsthand why it's so dangerous to misdiagnose someone as depressed when they're actually bipolar. So once we got that sorted, and I got on the right meds, I tried returning to work. But I just couldn't. I resigned. It was a few months before I found a new job, which lasted a month before the fact that it was kind of a poor fit combined with my struggles to get me fired. This should not have happened. I should not have felt the need to keep my struggles a secret until I had no other choice, especially when there were others around me struggling too. I should not have felt that I needed to be unable to work to ask for what I needed to be able to work well. I should not have been pushed to the breaking point before I could get help. We can't be ashamed to talk about our mental health, even when we're doing well, or even when we're not doing well. That's harder. We can't be ashamed to work with our brains instead of against them, even when they won't do what we think they should. We can't be ashamed to ask for what we need, even when others don't understand. My story might have gone a lot differently if I had gotten the help I needed a year earlier. Too often, we champion diversity, then expect everyone to work in the same way. If we want our industry to grow and become a place where people stay and innovation actually happens, a place where positive change occurs, we need to embrace neurodiversity. We need to accept that each one of us is unique and that what works for one person may not work for someone else, and that's okay. It's this very diversity of thinking that allows us to build, to invent, to innovate together so much more than any individual can do alone. There's a study where they gave groups of kids 2 problems to solve. Now, some of the groups had an ADHD student among them, others didn't. Well, this wasn't even what they were testing, but they ended up realizing that 14 out of the 16 groups that had an ADHD student managed to solve the problems. None of the groups without did. By supporting diverse minds, we benefit everyone, both individually and collectively. So how do we do it? How do we support each other? Like any form of diversity, I see 2 key aspects: bringing in a diverse group and creating an environment where a diverse group can thrive. Let's talk about culture fit. Now, culture fit sometimes gets a bad rap, often gets a bad rap, in part because some people use it as a way to reinforce discrimination. But even when people have the best intentions, they often still evaluate the culture fit of a candidate ineffectually, or even worse, harmfully. Often when people think of culture, they think to look for someone who matches the existing group. Don't do this. That's not going to help. If you're hiring, you're looking to fill a gap or to grow a team. Now, just like how you hire for technical skills that complement a team, not match the existing skills you have on the team, so you need to hire for culture in a way that complements your team, not matches it. Now, this may be a little uncomfortable, but it's the only way to grow. Just as important, you have to make sure that you're creating a working environment that will enable a wide variety of people to be effective and comfortable. This means letting people work differently, giving people options, encouraging people to bring up ideas and concerns and taking them seriously. Most importantly, it requires being open ourselves about our own struggles and listening to the struggles of others without judgment. Only then can we take the time to learn what it is that we each need. Try different ways of working to satisfy those needs, and then iterate on them, which is the same process we use to address technical problems. See some parallels here? With a little compassion, understanding, and patience, we can all achieve so much more than we otherwise would, and hopefully make it so that other people don't have to reach a point of crisis before they can get the support they need to thrive. Thank you for hearing my story.